Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good evening. Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Enjoying your day or enjoying your evening, whenever you are watching this show right here. Hopefully you guys are good. This is going to be a short show, but I wanted to give you guys a different story today or tonight. I told you guys I'd have this out. I was going to do it as a pop-up video, as a pre-recorded video, but I decided we're just going to do it live, okay? We're going to do it live. We're going to do this together as a family because I feel like this is a story that needs some more light shone upon it. Not a lot of people are talking about this, which I found to be very interesting. It's been percolating on my docket for the past couple days. And I sat back because I wanted to see if there was going to be any more updates or anything revolving around this. And as of the recording of this live right now, July 10th, 2023, there hasn't really been much development over this story. And I find that a bit odd. But I wanted to talk about it to you guys because that's what I do, right? I tell you guys your stories. Now, before we get into everything, please do me a favor because, like I said, this is odd, and yeah, we got to talk about this. It's sort of getting out there in the news now, okay? But it's been out for a few days already, okay? But before we get into everything, do me a favor, hit that like button down below, send it past 200 likes so you guys start to file in, okay? Good evening. Good morning. My dog said good evening to you guys too. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to every single last one of y'all. And for those of y'all who haven't done this yet, please do me a favor. Crush that subscribe button. You've seen this show before. You've seen this face. You've seen how I tell my stories. If you like, or how I tell these stories, if you like that, please, by all means, hit that subscribe button. Crush it. Make it scream out your name too. Okay, don't forget to hit that notification bell. Make sure it is sent and it is set to all so that whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because it is random, you know when you get that information. Okay, you know, and you get to see it right there, fresh with fresh eyes, not 2 days later going, oh, I didn't know Pascal covered that story. 2 days later, it's because you don't have that notification bell on. So turn it on. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, hit that join button down below, become a family member, or you can join my Patreon, patreon.com/The Pascal Show. Okay, that'd be greatly appreciated. Let's rock and roll, guys. We got a short, we don't have a long show today. Okay, we don't have a long show today, or tonight, because it's late. All right. But I do want to tell you guys this story. I think this matters. I know we've been hyper-focused on Rudy Farias. We have been very, very hyper-focused on Idaho 4 and Brian Kohberger. We have been hyper-focused on the Titan 5 and the submersible that went down and imploded. We've been hyper-focused on so many things as of late. But there are still stories that are out here that are kind of just sliding through the cracks, flying under the radar, okay, without everybody really knowing what's going on. So, you know what? I feel compelled in my heart of hearts to bring awareness to this story. And so I'm asking you guys as a favor, okay, for those of y'all who are tuning in right now, because I know there's a lot of other shows that are still currently live right now talking about a bunch of stuff. I couldn't wait any longer. I had to hop on. I need to get this show so I can go and get some sleep tonight, okay? But if you guys can do me that small favor of going out, sharing this story, talking about this, because there is a desperate need for some sort of justice with this situation and more transparency. Because there's not really much transparency going on with this particular story. And what I mean by this is that there is a story right now of a 14-year-old, okay? I've heard some reports say 13, but from other reports are saying 14, so I'm aiming on 14. There's a 14-year-old girl that was missing for 2 weeks. And she was recently found she was found at Camp Pendleton, okay? Camp Pendleton Barracks, after her family claimed, that the teen was sold to a Marine for the S word. I got to use these code words. And of course, this this Marine has been dragged out. He has been detained. But I got a lot of questions around this story. And it's very odd. It's a very odd story. We have to talk about this. And yes, original Lexa, holy ish, is this real? Yes, it is. Yeah, this ain't no tabloidy BS. This is real. This is very, very real. She was missing for 2 weeks, y'all. There's a now viral video, TikTok video that's been shared a multitude of times. I've been seeing a lot of people react to it. That's the reason why I caught wind of this story days ago, because this was a video that was being reshared on many popular content creators' TikToks. This particular TikTok video, which we are going to look at in just a little bit. But then nonetheless, I wanted to bring awareness to this story because listen, guys, before we go into this, how often, I haven't done it in a while. I'm going to be real. I haven't talked about this in a while, okay? When it has to do with anything within the armed forces type of thing, okay? Now, no disrespect to any person that has served our country. Shout out to y'all. I salute y'all. I really do appreciate it. But for some weird reason, something really, there's a lot of shystiness going on behind closed doors within the armed forces realm, okay? I've covered many stories before about young women who have stepped forward saying that they have been SA'd by their own brothers, right? Maybe some brothers and sisters, okay, in arms, only to find them unalive in their barracks, whatever. But even how they lost their lives is questionable. And yet the armed forces will, of that, whatever rank they are in, whatever branch they are in, they will sit there and rule that as a S. One unaliving oneself. They will literally say, oh, it's just a straight up and down story of someone unaliving themselves. Is extremely, exactly, Addie, extremely secretive, and it doesn't make any sense. Now, we hear these stories all the time. We hear those stories all the time, but I ain't never heard a story like this before. I ain't never heard a story like this before in my entire existence. So this is new for me. This may not be new. This may be just another story just another one of them, right? Another one bites the dust in some weird, demonic, messed up type of way. This is the reason why I said it on Twitter. I posted this on Twitter saying that I was going to go live to talk about this because I got so many questions. I got so many questions about this. This one does not math out for me right. It just doesn't. So let's get into this, shall we? And don't worry, we have the TikTok video. We even have a news clip that we're going to be looking at here very, very shortly. Like I said, this isn't going to be a long show, but this is going to be an action-packed, full show, of information type of show. And I'm going to tell you this too. We have to be careful, guys. We really have got to be careful about our loved ones, what our loved ones are doing, our kids, etc., what they're getting into, whatever, okay? Because even somebody who's wearing army fatigues, let's just say, you can't really trust them sometimes too. And that's what's frustrating about this, okay? So let's get into this. Let's get into this story. This is just so bizarre. It's so bizarre. But 14-year-old girl whose family claims she was sold to a U.S. Marine for blank has been found at Camp Pendleton in California 2 weeks after she went missing. The girl was first declared missing on June 13th, 4 days after some relatives said she ran away from her grandmother's house. However, her aunt claims the teen had been, I can't even say the phrase, but I'll just highlight it so you guys can see it. Follow the bouncing ball. All right? Crazy. So she was sold. I'll just say that. Teen was found in the San Diego area Marine base on June 28th. Days later, a Marine was being led from the barracks in handcuffs. Now, already I have questions because you got to understand, and you're going to hear in this TikTok, which we will be playing here very shortly, but you're going to hear in this TikTok that there were eyewitnesses of this doing. There were eyewitnesses of this Marine bringing this young girl into the barracks because they have to sign in. They have to use a sign-in sheet whenever they go. And of course, in this situation, there are people who clearly saw this girl with this Marine and didn't do anything about it. Like I said, this is not making any sense to me. The math ain't mathin'. Okay? But I digress. Let's continue. We can confirm that a Marine with Combat Logistics Battalion 5, 1st Marine Logistics Group, was taken into custody for questioning by Naval Criminal Investigative Services on June 28th, 2023, as seen on social media, July 2nd, 2023. Captain Palmer said, "The name of the Marine taken into custody has not yet been released." And of course, here he is. I'll just blow this up so you guys can see it. Here's the dude getting cuffed and doing his own little perp walk to the squad car. All right, to the SUV. Moving on, and this is the TikTok. This is the now viral TikTok. We are going to look at that shortly here for sure. So the incident is under investigation, and we will continue to cooperate with NCIS and appropriate authorities. This is what he told to NBC. So Palmer did confirm the Marine pictured in handcuffs was being detained and questioned about the missing girl. The victim's grandmother told the authorities she had run away several times before, but had always previously returned. Okay. So the girl's aunt, Cassandra Perez, told authorities her niece, who she says has learning disabilities, was sold to the Marine for blank. Now, let me just say this really quick. Okay, and I'm not trying to challenge the aunt at all, but how did they know that part? How do they know that there was a purchase, there was an exchange of cash for this young girl? That's the only thing I want to know. How does Auntie know that? No disrespect to her, but I would like to know a little bit about that too, right? Where was the confirmation of, okay, the quid pro quo, right? I give you this, you give me that. Where's proof of that? That's what I'd like to know as well. But let's continue. She posted on her TikTok account on July 6th, clearly nervous about what would happen to her as she feared retribution, speaking out about what her niece had already gone through or had allegedly gone through. I would just like to preface this video. She said, I did not. She said that out loud. She did not unalive herself. If I go missing or end up unalived, the people potentially responsible could possibly be located here at Camp Pendleton. Why do you think she said that out loud in the video? Why do you think she said that out loud in the video? Because there's a lot of stories out here, y'all. of people, like I said in the very beginning of the show, there are people out here that will sit there and say, hey, this is what happened to me. This horrible, unthinkable thing happened to me by men that I'm with in the military. And then weeks later, that person's gone. Found gone, if you get my drift. And then the military will sit there and go, oh, they unalived themselves. That's all it is. That makes total sense. The stories that I've heard is absolutely insane, okay? The stories that have trickled out, that have come out about specific individuals that have lost their lives because they spoke out because of a crime that was committed against them. And the fact that they were found gone is absolutely asinine and crazy to me. So I get it why she said out loud in the video, just so you know, she's saying it, she's prefacing everything just in case she's found gone for speaking up against the military. And again, the craziness that we hear, a lot of it has to do with officer on officer crimes, crimes. This is the first time I've heard about a situation with a minor, right? With a civilian. This is new for me. But the corruption is still the same, y'all. The corruption is still the same. So let's continue. I'm going to play the video here in a little bit. So I'm not going to play all of this or read all of that because and of course, this is the TikTok video. All right. So we are going to see that in a second. Okay. Perez added she will release the name of the military detective or of a military detective she believes is behind the cover up if her attorney allows so she can get justice for her niece. She reiterated in the video, as the video ended, that she thinks the military will retaliate against her family. Palmer said the Marine brought in for questioning has not been charged with a crime. Let me say that again. This mother lover that allegedly was found with this young girl has not even seen a charge yet. Are we seeing some interesting stuff as of recently? Haven't we been seeing some stuff as of interesting stuff as of lately? Crimes that are being committed against other people, against their will, and people are still walking. The people who actually did the crime against that person ain't catching no charges. I mean, we just talked about Rudy Farias. We just talked about that. And now we're talking about this, and it's the same thing. Dude walked out in cuffs, but he's still out here free, most likely. It's weird because there's other rules and regulations, other laws, okay, in the armed forces. But he was arrested. That's what we saw. But they're claiming that he has not been charged as of yet. Let's continue. The Naval Criminal Investigative Service said its investigation is still ongoing, according to a statement. So, out of respect for the investigative process, NICIS, the Naval Criminal Investigative Service, does not comment on confirmed details relating to or confirm the existence of ongoing investigations, a spokesperson said. So this is the information that we've have so far in this mother lover. Let's be real. This is what we have so far in this piece. That's what we have. So a young girl was brought into these barracks and she was in there for days. She was missing for 2 weeks, y'all. She was in there for days. It wasn't like she was just there for for a spell. She was in there for days. And yes, bougie, it's a child. They have somebody. He was detained. He was arrested. He was brought in. But allegedly, he hasn't caught any charges as of yet. Again, the burning question here is, who made her an item of purchase. If you get what I'm saying. I'm trying to find ways to say this without actually getting in trouble with the 50 of the tubes, but you get what I'm saying. Who made her an item of purchase and then sold said item? Who does that? The other question is, how does the auntie know that that transaction actually went down? Then the other question is, how did they know she was inside Camp Pendleton? How? Who walked out and said, "Nah, I'm done. I'm blowing the lid off this case." Who outed that Marine? Many, many questions, y'all. Many, many questions. Yolanda, oh, that's smart, actually. That's smart. Yolanda said her phone. You know what? That's smart. It could have been the phone. Maybe. We don't know yet, but we're going to take a look at this news clip because I think this is very, very interesting. You know, if I do say so myself. All right. Very interesting. Let's take a look at this. Again, still don't make no sense. To me, the math ain't mathin' to me. It just ain't mathin'. But let's take a listen to this. Hit the number one. Let me know you guys can hear this. Let's rock and roll.
Explosive story out of Camp Pendleton where a missing 14-year-old girl has finally been found and a Marine has been taken into custody in connection with her disappearance.
That girl's family now alleging she was trafficked and sold to a Marine for sex. Our Leanne Suter joining us live in studio with the latest details. Leanne?
Michelle and Jory, shocking details and allegations coming from the victim's family who says that teen was sold for sex. Camp Pendleton authorities now investigating. Authorities confirming this picture posted on social media showing the moment the Marine was arrested as authorities investigate a possible human trafficking case at Camp Pendleton after a missing 14-year-old girl was found on base.
So they have officially confirmed, okay? They confirmed that those photos, and I said it says it in the article as well, but I'm just going to reiterate it again because whatever. But they are literally saying that yes, that man who's actually being detained is because he was in possession of this young person, okay? A person that should not have been on the barracks, on the grounds of the barracks of Camp Pendleton in the first doggone place. A minor. And allegedly, she was an item of purchase by this particular Marine, or maybe particular Marines. It could have been plural. You never know. But I find this very interesting. Let's continue. Let's roll.
Trying to give an update. My family and I are doing okay. Would just like to start off by thanking everyone for boosting this video. I appreciate everyone trying to bring awareness to this incident.
The teen's aunt taking to social media to talk about the case and concerns about possible retaliation from the military. The woman says her niece has learning disabilities and was allegedly sold for sex. The 14-year-old's grandmother reported her missing on June 13th to the San Diego Sheriff's Department. She told investigators the young girl, who had run away before but always returned home quickly, went missing the week before.
But also,
okay. Let me just say this too. Now, I don't understand what she, okay. I don't know what she means by saying that she has a learning disability. That's the part that I still don't understand fully, because there's plenty of kids out here with learning disabilities that could range from severe to just small. Like it's varying. There's varying degrees of learning disabilities. Okay, so I don't know what that means unless she's trying to say that she is mentally disabled. That could be what she's trying to say. I don't know. This is just literally what she's saying, or what we will hear in this video here in a little bit. But if she has a history of running away, I'm not saying but she has a history of running away. She has ran away other times before. So how did she run away and then end up being taken in this way? Like Liam Neeson. Literally, how was she taken? That's the part that I don't understand. Okay. That's the part I'm still trying to understand here. Okay. Let me read some of you guys' comments really quick. The original Lexa, thank you so much for the comment on YouTube. I hope that someone in the barracks turned him in. I really hope one of them had enough honor to do that much. It's the standard they're supposed to be held to. I agree. I absolutely agree. But because this the next part. See, this part right here, this question right here, Nina. Okay, Nina Boo Sexy Sanchez. Thank you so much for the comment on YouTube. How was she hidden on the base? They have inspections daily. Yeah. I mean, you know, I've only seen Apocalypse Now and Full Metal Jacket. You know what I'm saying? And Born on the 4th of July. You know, I figured that they do those inspections almost every single day or every night. So where did she go? She was just randomly found there. She just beam me up, Scotty. She just teleported in the middle of the barracks. How was she able to be there hiding, literally hiding in plain sight in a barracks on Camp Pendleton's grounds? That doesn't make any sense. Carol Era, maybe 14-year-old with the mental capacity of a toddler, maybe. But still, though, that's the part that doesn't make any sense. Because if this young girl has this kind of LD, this learning disability, that's that severe, wouldn't they be watching her every move if she had that severe, if she was mentally disabled, or if she had the mental capacity of a child, of like a 7-year-old child? Obviously, I'm just guessing here. Wouldn't she be on constant watch? And if she has a history of running away, wouldn't she be on constant watch? I don't know. Like I said, I'm confused here. You know, and I care because these types of stories, I'm sure, are happening right under all of our noses. But I'm wondering how they confirmed that she was actually sold. That's the part. I'm not sitting here saying that I don't believe them. I'm just wondering how they know, you know, how that is known. And then how she was found in the barracks, because she went missing for 2 whole weeks, y'all. So where was she before she was in the barracks? Or was she in the barracks the entire time for those 2 weeks? I got a lot of questions, y'all. Okay? Got a lot of questions. Like I said, too many questions. Okay? So let's continue on.
I'd like to please ask for respect for my family.
On June 28th, the teen was located inside the barracks at Camp Pendleton. Since the base is federal property, Naval Criminal Investigative Services is handling the investigation with the assistance of the Sheriff's Department and San Diego Human Trafficking Task Force. The victim's family vowing to continue their fight for answers.
Absolutely, as they should. This is a heartbreaking, mind-blowing story that I still can't believe it's not butter. I mean, I'm just going to be real. I'm still shocked by this story. And it's a real story.
So just like to preface this video, I did not kill myself. If I go missing or end up murdered.
Okay. And I'm going to play this TikTok as well, because again, this is just shocking. It's just shocking. But I got so many questions. How was she found there? How did they know that she was in there in the first place? Who turned her into an item of purchase, for lack of a better term? Okay. How did all that happen? And how does the family know that those transactions and those things did happen? Unless the daughter came, the 14-year-old girl came up and said this to her family when she was found. That's possible too. But it does make you wonder, how do they know? And how did they know to go to Camp Pendleton to retrieve her? Many, many questions, guys. I got questiones, okay? Questiones like a mug, okay? Truth Dragon, the Truth Dragon said, thank you so much for the comment on YouTube. There are civilian contractors that have base access. Oh, well, that's good to know as well. Caesar, honestly, I haven't seen this story on national news nor any updates on the Rudy case. It seems the mainstream media doesn't want to highlight these things. Yeah, I mean, the news did talk about it. I mean, at least local news talked about this particular story, but I do find it interesting that it's not really, I mean, it's slowly seeping out here, but I found out about this on TikTok, baby. I found out about this on TikTok. I didn't find this on any other place. TikTok. Didn't hear any stories about this on YouTube. I typed in Camp Pendleton. There were news stories about it, a few, but that was about it. Right? But then just recently, as of yesterday, I think, they have been starting to come out with, like, other periodicals are coming out with articles about this particular situation. But it's still a very much I don't understand how this was even possible. But let's look at this video. This is from the aunt. All right. This is the video that's been going viral and all that. Okay. But let's take a listen to this. And I'm going to be jumping in and out of this. Okay. But let's rock and roll.
I would just like to preface this video. I did not kill myself. If I go missing or end up murdered, the people potentially responsible could possibly be located here at Camp Pendleton.
Okay, so obviously we already said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. Clearly, this woman really does feel, this aunt really does feel that there's some shiesty stuff that goes on in the armed forces, and she been known this. So of course she has to preface this whole video just to make sure, because we've heard crazy horror stories as of late of these people who speak out against the military and then they end up gone. And then they say, oh, well, they unalive themselves, so on and so forth. So I get her coming through and saying what she's saying right now. Okay. She's prefacing all this just in case. Okay. But in a way, it's actually obviously she's protecting herself by saying that out loud as well. Let's roll.
Hello, my name is Cassandra Perez. Please share this video with anybody and everybody. This is a warning to the public. To not jeopardize the ongoing investigation, I will not be releasing the name of the victim. However, I will be releasing details to the public to help prevent harm and hopefully find others willing to share their story. My niece is under the age of 18 and has learning disabilities. On June 10th, she went missing, and on June 27th, she was found on Camp Pendleton. Camp Pendleton is a military base in Oceanside, San Diego. She was found in the barracks by military police. She had been sold to a soldier for sex. The military is trying to cover it up. They're trying to cover it up and place majority of the blame on her. However, the reality is the whole facility allowed this to happen. The security looked her in the face and allowed this man to bring a minor onto base, where he then proceeded to have sex with her. Due to her age, she could not have given this consent. We've just had an interview with someone referred to us by the military. In this meeting, we were told by the affiliated personnel that the military detective assigned to the case is trying to cover this up. Let me roll that back just a little bit. This part I think is really important. And one of the main reasons why this woman and this auntie is coming out and speaking out about this, because there's a history here. The military does this all the time. All right. We hear this story a lot. I hate to say it like that. Like I said, for those of y'all who have sacrificed yourselves for this country, risked it all, etc., fighting for us and etc., and all that stuff, I salute y'all. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind closed doors in the military that needs to be accounted for. It's just
It's tough. And yes, Tyler, I agree. We hear it way too often. We hear it far too often. This story. Okay. This is a tale as old as time. We hear this stuff all the time, guys, especially when it comes to the military. Sorry, but it's the truth. Rolling it back just a little bit because I want that to stick. Okay. I want this to sink all the way down to your plums. Okay.
She could not have given this consent. We've just had an interview with someone referred to us by the military. In this meeting, we were told by the affiliated personnel that the military detective assigned to the case is trying to cover this up.
Now, it makes you wonder why they are trying to cover this up. You can, they could easily have, just had this be as transparent as it possibly could be. But let's be real. When they start giving off the vibe like they're trying to cover things up, unfortunately, this is when the conspiracy theories start running amok. This is when the people come out and start saying stuff like, oh, they're trying to, there's something deeper going on here. There's some sort of ring going on. And that could very well be the case here. If you got somebody out here trying to cover this bad boy up. And remember, you also got to remember, you got a Marine who has been detained, but he hasn't caught any charges yet. Not a one. Again, let's not forget that piece. That's important information. Whoops.
In this meeting, we were told by the affiliated personnel that the military detective assigned to the case is trying to cover this up. As you can imagine, this is upsetting and absolutely unacceptable.
Obviously.
I have the lead detective's name and phone number and will be releasing it to the public pending confirmation from our attorney.
Of course.
Our hope in doing so is to both bring attention to my niece's case and to ensure that this does not go away upon release of more details. We hope you would join us in calling and demanding both release of details as well as the pursuit of justice. Our family is worried about retaliation from the military and the...
Yeah. So they're scared of the retaliation of the military, which, let's be real, I don't blame her and her family of their concern of their own safety and all that, because we hear plenty of stories of people out here doing speaking out about against a specific group of people, especially when it comes to the armed forces, and they end up gone. And then they say, oh, well, that person was unhinged this entire time. That's why he did this unthinkable thing to himself. Yet he's the one who's trying to be the whistleblower, trying to blow the lid off this thing, showing the fact that there is SA or crimes that were happening between officers, okay, between other brothers in arms, brothers and sisters in arms in the military. Those things do actually exist, and they cover this stuff up so fast. Okay, they cover this stuff up so fast. Little Patty said, "Fast recap, please." Okay, let me just do this really quick because real quick for those of y'all who are just showing up late to the party, I will do that for you because I'm a nice human being. Here it is. We have a 14-year-old girl that was missing for 2 weeks and was found inside the barracks or inside the Camp Pendleton's barracks. Okay. After her family claimed that this teen was actually purchased by a Marine for unthinkable things. A 14-year-old girl. So she went missing. She was gone for 2 weeks. They found her. They found her in this barracks around, she was found on June 28th. A couple days later, an unnamed Marine was actually detained in connection to the case. And one thing that's very interesting is right now this particular officer, this particular Marine, okay, has not caught any charges as of yet. But he apparently was SAing this young girl in the barracks. Okay? So now we are getting that. So now that you know what's going on, he put up money for this girl because she allegedly ran away. And she had a history of running away. Okay, this 14-year-old girl had a history of running away. So she ran away this particular time, or at least that's what the family believes she did. She was taken in by this, allegedly by this Marine, but taken into this Camp Pendleton. Okay, now there's something I do want to pull up. I need to find it though, real quick. I do need to find it.
Explosive
Real quick. One second, guys. I'm sorry. But I do appreciate the help. I do appreciate you guys watching and being a part of the conversation. Now, this is another. This is from a TikTok creator. Okay. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this, because this is just straight from the hip, guys. I'm shooting from the hip right now. So give me 2 seconds. If you just bless me a little bit of time, I'll pull this up here. Let's see here.
All right.
Okay. I'm going to share this video too. Okay.
Camp Pendleton, which is outside of San Diego, Oceanside, San Diego, I believe, is where this took place. This woman uploaded this video yesterday.
My niece is under the age of 18 and has learning disabilities. On June 10th, she went missing, and on June 27th, she was found on Camp Pendleton. Camp Pendleton is a military base in Oceanside, San Diego. She was found in the barracks by military police. She had been sold to a soldier for sex. They are trying to cover it up and place majority of the blame on her. However, the reality is the whole facility allowed this to happen. The security looked her in the face and allowed this man to bring a minor onto base, where he then proceeded to have sex with her.
Now, I want to make sure that you guys hear that piece, because that piece is really big, for lack of a better term. Okay. They brought her into the barracks. Security looked her in the face and allowed this man to bring this young girl into the barracks, in which he proceeded to do what she says later. That part, I think, is incredibly important to realize, and put that bee in your bonnet for a second. Okay. To come into realization that there were people that actually saw him walk in onto grounds with this young girl to do unthinkable things with her. That part is incredibly important to remember. So there are other people that saw this and gave it a thumbs up.
Looked her in the face and allowed this man to bring a minor onto base, where he then proceeded to have sex with her. Due to her age, she could not have given this consent. We've just had an interview with someone referred to us by the military. In this meeting, we were told by the affiliated personnel that the military detective assigned to the case is trying to cover this up.
Okay, she said her family member is under 18 and has learning disabilities. When you hear under 18, what does that evoke for you? I can tell you myself personally, I thought, okay, 17, maybe 16 years old. Well, some other stuff has leaked around this story. Janae posted pictures from the duty log on base.
Here we go.
Records the incidents from that evening.
Here we go.
And there is a record of this incident where they describe how they went in the barracks and found a 13-year-old girl.
13.
he bought a 13-year-old girl, allegedly, off of someone, brought her back to the base, got through the guard gate with her, took her into his barracks, assaulted her because there's nothing consensual about that. And that's where she was found. And now it looks like to the family that they're trying to blame the 13-year-old, the child, for this.
Now, let me tell you, I'm a fan of Tizzy ENT as well. I think he does some really, really great work. And this is the person that I saw this story about. This is the only way I found out about this story is through his TikTok. And I was like, what is this all about? What the hell is this all about? Right. And it still shocked the hell out of me hearing about all this. The fact that there is document of him bringing in this young girl. And they say 13 in the paperwork. And nobody really looked at that and said, Nobody saw that information and it didn't make them feel some type of way. Okay. And that's fine. Allegedly, yes, it's all alleged. Okay. But at the same time, pretty wild stuff, right? Don't you think? Pretty wild stuff.
That will not happen. The only acceptable response is to take down everyone.
Okay. And of course, yeah, I agree with him too. I 110% agree with Tizzy within this particular story. Because everyone that saw this allegedly, okay, anyone that saw him walk in with this girl, okay, 13 or 14 years old, however old she is, wherever they saw that, whoever saw him with that information, with that person should be questioned. Every single person that he crossed paths with that saw this girl and just walked away without even batting an eye, they all should be brought in for questioning. Every single last one of them. But it does make you wonder if there is something deeper going on in Camp Pendleton. And it sucks. I get it. I know some of us are going to feel some type of way about me saying that. Okay. I'm not trying to put the tinfoil hats on or anything like that, but I got to be completely straight funky with y'all. When you start hearing something like that happening and the fact that that person was hiding in plain sight, brought that girl in, okay, to do God knows what with that young girl, and everybody else saw that, and they're all in the military, and all we hear is about these crazy stories, these unsolved mysteries of all these people that have stepped forward and said, this happened to me while I was in the military, and then weeks later they're found gone. There's so much that's so effed up, okay, where there's literally zero transparency within the military. And now we're seeing something like this, and you got a family that's now trying to get justice for their young loved one, and they're hearing that the military's trying to cover up this stuff. And the question that still bounces around in my mind is why? Why the constant cover up? Why are they covering this up? Why not take full accountability of what happened here? Get this man, whoever else is involved with bringing this young girl in, get them to see the full repercussions of their wrongdoings, suffer the repercussions of their wrongdoings, and keep them moving. Now, I get it. You could easily say, well, it's a threat to national security. Well, you know what? That is a threat to national security. If they're able to bring in a live human child into the barracks like that, and if she really was in there for longer than just a day, shows you how there's a lot of loose ends in the security within the barracks in which the military's in. Think about that for a second. Oh yeah, it screams. It screams a few good men. It screams the general's daughter. It screams all kinds of movies, that military type of movies like this. Okay, we've heard these kind of stories before in real life or in the movies. We've heard these kinds of things before. But again, these are still questions that still have not been answered. And right now, this very individual that got detained is still a free man, still a free soldier. Don't know if he got kicked out or anything of that sort, but hey, is the military going to give us transparency or not? That is the question that still remains today. But that is the show, guys. I wanted to bring this story up to you guys because I wanted to give you guys something a little bit different. Yes, there are some more developing things within the Rudy Farias story. I'll be sure to give you guys some more of that. If it is something big, we will talk about it for sure, most likely tomorrow. Okay, but I did want to bring awareness to this story because it is a crazy, heartbreaking story, and it still makes you wonder, how did they get in there? How did they bring her in? And then who ratted him out? How did they find her there? That's the question. It just doesn't make any sense, but it does make you wonder if there really is some deep-seated ring type stuff going on in that particular military base, or in any other military bases as well. Think about that. You just never know, okay? So anyway, guys, if there's any developing information about this, I will let you guys know for sure, okay? But please do me a favor, hit that like button down below, crush it, make you scream your name, scream out your name, okay? And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. It'd be really great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. All right. And I would really appreciate the support. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate all y'all for being here. It's time to get going. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. See you guys soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.